I was standing in the kitchen that morning, pouring myself a cup of tea, when my son walked in with a look I had never seen before. It wasn't mad, and it wasn't sadness either. It was something colder. Something already decided. He cleared his throat and said, "Mom, tomorrow we're taking you to the nursing home." Just like that. As if he were telling me the weather. For a moment, I thought he was joking. I waited for the smile, the laugh, the "Oh, Mom, I'm just teasing." But it never came. I looked at him carefully. He wouldn't even meet my eyes. His hands were in his pockets, the same way he used to stand as a little boy when he'd broken something in the house and didn't want to admit it. I asked, quietly, "A nursing home?" He nodded. "It's better for you. You need help now." Help. That word stung more than anything else. Then I noticed the boxes by the hallway, my boxes. Packed neatly. Labeled. Ready. As if they'd been preparing this for days while I was still making them dinner, still folding their clothes when they visited, still believing I had a family that cared. Through the window, I could see his wife sitting in the car, tapping on her phone, not even glancing toward the house. They had already moved on from me. I was just another task to finish. I held my cup tightly, keeping my voice steady. Age teaches you how to stay calm even when your heart is breaking. He sighed. "Mom, it's for your own good." And in that moment, something inside me shifted. Not anger. Not fear. A quiet vow. They think I am weak, I thought. But they've forgotten, I have lived longer than their greed. That afternoon, I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I didn't even ask why. Instead, I nodded slowly, as if I accepted their decision. Sometimes silence is not surrender, it's strategy. I told my son, "All right. If you think this is best, then I won't stand in your way." He looked relieved, too relieved. As if expecting a fight, and surprised I didn't give him one. He left soon after, saying he'd return in the morning to finish everything. I watched him walk down the driveway, keys swinging lightly in his hand, like a man who believed he had solved a problem. The moment the door closed, the entire house felt different. Still mine, but only for one more night. I took a deep breath and went to my bedroom. From the top shelf of my closet, I pulled down an old metal box, one I hadn't opened in years. Inside were documents, bank papers, account statements, all neatly folded the way my late husband used to keep them. I smiled as I traced my finger across his handwriting on one envelope. He always told me, "Keep one door open, even if others close it for you." I sat at the desk and began checking each paper carefully. Old accounts. A safe deposit box I hadn't visited in a decade. Investment certificates that had grown quietly, untouched. They thought I had nothing. But they had no idea who their mother once was. I picked up the phone and dialed the only lawyer I still trusted. He answered on the first ring, surprised to hear from me after so long. "I need your help," I said. "And I need it tonight." No hesitation. Just a quiet, "Tell me what you want me to do." Within an hour, the wheels were in motion, transfers, confirmations, and arrangements that left no trace behind. Before the clock struck midnight, I booked a first-class ticket to a small coastal town I had always dreamed of visiting. As I closed my suitcase, I whispered to myself, "They think they're planning my future. But I'm already preparing my escape." The night before they planned to take me to the nursing home, the house felt unusually quiet. Almost peaceful in its sadness. I cooked dinner for my son and his wife. A simple meal, something warm, something familiar. They ate quickly, distracted, already discussing paperwork, schedules, responsibilities they clearly didn't want. But I watched them with a strange calm. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. When they left, I walked through my home slowly, touching the walls, the photos, the little memories tucked into every corner. This wasn't just a house. It was my life. My laughter. My late husband's voice. My children's first steps. My entire story. They thought they were moving me to a place where people waited to die. But my story wasn't ending here. Not tonight. Before going to bed, I placed a letter on the kitchen table. Neat handwriting. Simple words. Don't look for me. I am safe. I choose my own life from this day forward. I folded it carefully, placing it where I knew my son would see it first. When dawn arrived, I didn't wait for sunlight. I slipped out quietly, wheeling my single suitcase across the porch. The morning air was cool, sharp, and full of freedom. At the airport, I handed my passport to the agent. First class, she said with a smile, almost surprised. I hadn't traveled alone in years. But the moment that plane lifted off the ground, the world below shrinking into clouds, something inside me loosened. Like a knot that had been tied for decades finally coming apart. I watched the sunrise through the window. Soft gold light broke over the horizon, filling the cabin, warming my face. And for the first time in a long time, I felt alive. They thought they were sending me away, I whispered to myself. But all this time, I was finally going home. The coastal town greeted me with a soft breeze and the slow rhythm of waves touching the shore. It felt like stepping into a life I had once dreamed of, and almost forgotten I deserved. I checked into a small seaside cottage, quiet, sunlit, and far from everything that had tried to shrink me. As I sat by the window that first morning, a cup of tea warming my hands, I opened the folder I had carried with me. Inside it was the real reason my future no longer depended on anyone. $2 million. Invested quietly. Untouched for years. Left to me by my late husband, who always believed I should have a life of my own, independent, protected, free. I never told my son about it. Not because I wanted to hide anything. But because I wanted him to grow into a man who valued love over money, compassion over control. But he didn't. He grew into someone who saw me as a burden, an inconvenience, a problem to be solved with forms and signatures. He forgot who raised him. Who fed him. Who prayed over him. Who stayed awake every night when he was sick. So no, he didn't earn the right to know about this. With a few quiet calls, I transferred the last remaining documents into my sole name. No joint access. No shared rights. No loopholes. For the first time in years, my life, my peace, belonged entirely to me. I looked out at the ocean, endless and blue, and whispered. A woman doesn't stop being strong just because her family stops seeing it. Back home, the silence must have hit them first. No footsteps. No soft humming from the kitchen. No mother waiting by the window. Just an empty house, and the truth settling in like dust. My son called me, 5 times, 10 times, 20. By the afternoon, he was calling the police, reporting me as missing. Imagine that. The same man who wanted to place me in a nursing home now panicking because he couldn't control me. They searched the house, room by room. That's when he noticed the documents on the dining table, his own signature missing from every one of them. The house? In my name only. The bank accounts he thought he could help manage? Closed. My retirement savings? Transferred. Every door he planned to lock me behind, already gone. His wife shouted in the background, asking, "What are we supposed to do now?" But there was no one left to blame. No one left to command. No one left to manipulate. And in that moment, he learned something I had hoped he would never need to learn. A mother may forgive endlessly. But she does not forget forever. I heard later, through a neighbor, that he sat on the floor of my empty living room, holding his head in his hands, whispering. She really left. Not with anger. Not with rage. But with the quiet realization that he had pushed too far, and lost something priceless. From my small cottage by the sea, I closed my phone gently and looked toward the horizon. I didn't run from you, I whispered. I simply walked toward a life where I mattered. The ocean has a way of speaking to you when the world has been loud for too long. Every morning now, I sit by the open window of my little cottage, listening to the waves roll in, slow, steady, unbothered. It feels like they're teaching me how to breathe again. For the first time in decades, no one tells me where to sit, what to sign, or how to live. I cook when I want to. I rest when my bones ask me to. Some days I simply watch the sun melt into the water and think. So this is what peace looks like. I don't hate my son. No mother's heart ever closes completely. But peace has a price, and sometimes that price is distance. Maybe one day he'll understand that I didn't disappear to punish him. I left because I deserved one small chapter of life written by my own hand. People talk about the last laugh like it's loud, like it's shouting, or revenge, or slamming a door. But I've learned something different. Sometimes the last laugh is quiet. It's choosing yourself when no one else will. It's boarding a plane with trembling hands but a steady heart. It's watching the sunrise over a place where no one knows your pain. And it's whispering to the sea. I made it. I finally made it. Because in the end, the greatest victory isn't proving anyone wrong. It's finally living the life they never imagined you'd have.